time of how I ended up competing in my first dance competition solo at my own studio, even though I wasn't supposed to be competing. One thing y'all gotta know about me is the reason I do a nonprofit dance studio now is because I was the preteen and teenager who had to pay for a lot of her dance stuff. I paid for all my competition fees, and if you're a dance mom, you know those aren't cheap. So, my freshman year, we're in comp class. That year, my teacher's like, well, this year we're gonna do something different. We wanna have more comp routines, because we used to just take one middle school dance, one high school dance, and if seniors were there, seniors could compete solos. We used to not do all the stuff she does now, and it's crazy. But she's like, okay, anyone wants to do a solo? Let's see. So I obviously raised my hand, and at the time, I wanted to do, I think I said I wanted to do a lyrical or contemporary solo. Now, as you guys know, I'm pretty good at hip-hop, and I had started in hip-hop. My first 2 years of dance, I only did hip-hop. I slayed at hip-hop. She's like, we think you would really slay at a hip-hop routine. I'm like, well, if that's what you really think, then I'll do that. But after she told us the competition prizes, I almost died. The choreography fee, the private lessons fees, the competitions fees. Why does it cost $150 to compete a solo? I know you have to charge more, but that's just, how are so many people affording that? That is crazy. I was the teenager who was gonna have to pay for that, and that was not my dance teacher's fault. That's just the way things are in dance, which is part of the story behind my studio. Anyways, there's this thing in Assembly of God churches called Fine Arts, and it's like a music and art competition for ministry. They do have a dance category. They had like an urban, which is hip-hop, solo, or what they called a worship solo. And my solo wasn't really worship, but it was by a Christian singer, and the judges said my song was okay, so I did it anyways. But I ended up choreographing. Some of y'all are gonna crap your pants. I had a year and a half of ballet and a year and a half of jazz. That was it. Not very much technique for a 14-year-old. But this is where you gotta crap your pants. I choreographed a 5-minute lyrical dance. 5-minute routine. Some of y'all are gonna be like, why? I think it ended up being like 4 minutes and 58 seconds. Here's the deal, is at Fine Arts, you have up to 5 minutes for your solo. One year when I did the urban hip hop solo, it was 2 minutes and 25 seconds, and all 3 judges have said, you used less than half your time allotted. You need to take up more time. But for this particular competition, they didn't want to see 2 minutes. They wanted the full 5-minute routine and took off points if you did not do at least 4 minutes. So I choreographed this full routine, and the week, 2 weeks before I was going to compete that solo, I competed. I asked my dance teacher one, like, hey, I choreographed this solo and I want to show you and see what you think. And she's like, oh yeah, do you mind showing like the whole class? My dance teacher was super sweet. Anytime one of us made up a dance, she would let us show the class, and I think that's really encouraging for dancers. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I performed it, and literally everyone was like, my freshman year was the year everyone's like, Caitlin can actually dance. What? Like, they all knew I was really good at hip hop, and I had done ballet and jazz for a little bit, but like, when they saw me do this lyrical dance, literally jaws were on the floor. They were like, what? My dance teacher lived in the same town as me, so my dance teacher was a very kind lady and always brought me home from dance. So on the way home that night, she's like, I would never do this. You have to compete this solo at comp. The competition was literally the next week. And I was like, wait, really? You think this is good enough? And she's like, no, like, you have to compete this dance. I met up with her the week of the comp. We shortened my song from 5 minutes. I think we cut it down to like exactly 3 minutes. So we cut 2 minutes out of it in one day, in one practice. And I just did it. I literally, since she was a couple blocks from her house, she just had me come to her house, and I did it in her living room, and we just cut the music together. I competed that solo at Hall of Fame. My first time ever competing a solo, a year and a half of technique classes. Pretty much a week to prepare since we cut 2 minutes out of the dance, and no one thought I was gonna do good at that style. They all thought I could just do hip hop. I placed 3rd overall at that competition. 3rd overall. It was amazing with the invitation to nationals, obviously. Now, I want to give the back story behind the solo, and part of the reason I believe I did so good with it. If you go to my YouTube linked in bio, just search up The Beautiful Dance. It should pop up. But the song's called Beautiful. It is by the rapper NF, and yes, I did a lyrical dance that has a rap section in it. I'm just talking about this young girl who is physically very beautiful, but she doesn't feel that way. And as a chubby girl in dance, I was facing a lot of insecurities because that was also my first year of point. I did not feel good about myself. I really, truly did hate myself. My depression was really bad that year. I had gone through a lot of things, actually. And the song was talking about this girl who's beautiful. She doesn't know it. She's doing everything she can just to live and survive, and struggling, and it was what I was going through at the time. So I had a big emotional connection. But the last thing I want to say before in this video, I forgot about this, but at the comp, so my dance teacher submitted the music online, as one does. I have no idea what crack was in Hall of Fame's music system that specifically only messed up our dance studio's music. I kid you not. Everyone else is performing fine. I get up on stage and my music was very slow. It was like, boom, there she goes. Like, it was very slow. If you watch the YouTube video, NF has a very deep voice. He has like a squeaky high voice, and my music was sped up a lot. I have no idea what happened, why it happened, but like my music was, it was literally on crack. So me getting third place, even though my music was literally jacked up and I had to speed up my dance when it was supposed to be way slower, also a slay.